Lindsay. Welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be sharing a card with you made with the brand new Prized Life digital stamp set from Joy Claire Stamps. So this was very easy to make. You can make this layout that I have here and print it off on really any program that you might have. I used Photoshop Elements. I have many tutorials on my channel about how to make these panels. What I did though is I made it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel, positioned my little nest and my sentiment where I wanted it, and then I printed it off with one panel onto white cardstock, and I used my laser printer for that. Now, because I use my laser printer, I am going to be able to color this image with alcohol markers. Also, I only printed off one panel, but I'm going to make it look as if I printed off twice. But in order to save paper and time, I'm just going to do a little hiding of a hole here in a little bit. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and take a nesting set die. This is an old one from Tonic, but you could use any rectangle, any circle you wanted to for this technique. Really, any shape will work. I just like the rectangle because it fits the nest perfectly, and I'm going to go ahead and die cut that out. Now, to hold that in place, I am using a delicate surface painter's tape. This stuff is wonderful for holding your dies in place. Even with the pressure from a die cutting machine, it doesn't tear the paper, it doesn't leave a residue, and it doesn't leave any tape marks like you normally get. So it really is great, and it's only a couple bucks. I'll leave it linked down below in the description box. But once I have that run through my die cut machine, then I have my image die cut out from the center panel. Now later, when I go to overlay this back on top and cover up that hole, I want to make sure I have a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to take the next step up in the nesting die set and die cut a mat with that die. I'm die cutting from craft. You could use black, you could use any color of cardstock, you could use more white if you wanted to. Just something that is going to give you that little bit of wiggle room to cover up the hole you just made and also give a little bit of separation with your image. So there you have a look at what this will end up looking like. But first I need to color. And one of the beauties of coloring or of printing with a laser printer is that you have the option of coloring with alcohol markers. I used my Xerox printer, but there is a cheap brother that I have and love and have used for many, many years to print off digital images. And it works really well for thicker paper. My Xerox is a lot more expensive because it's a color laser printer. So I'm going to leave the brother listed down below, especially if you're new to this and you just want to give it a try. That is really the way to go. The one thing to remember about the brother printer that I'm listing down below is you need a printer cable with it. And I will leave that link down below too. It does not come with one, and it really doesn't state that in the description, but you will need that to hook it up because it's not Wi-Fi enabled. So I colored this image very, very quickly with my alcohol markers, and I am using the Pro markers from Amazon. They're a very, very cheap alcohol marker. And then I decided to bring in my white gel pen and add a few little details. So I am just adding a few little dots to each one of the eggs and then some lines to the leaves. I'm using a jelly roll pen. There are quite a few white gel pens on the market. This one and the Uniball Signo are my favorite. And if you're looking for a good writing pen, then the Uniball Signo in black is really great as well. I have been using that. We're homeschooling this year, so that is what I have been using personally to do a lot of lesson planning and things like that. It works really great and it doesn't ever skip or run out on me. So I'm just going to add these few last little lines. You want to make sure that your ink is dry before you do that, but putting this over the alcohol marker doesn't hurt it at all. Now once that was finished, I am going to add a little bit of stenciling. This is another great thing about using that laser printer. I can ink blend over this with a water-based ink and put a little pressure on those words on this panel, and I'm not going to worry about it moving. I am using polished ink from Catherine Pooler and a stencil from the Crafters Workshop for this, and I am going to start heavily in the center and move out towards the edges with a lighter touch, just for a little bit of something on this background. I am also using my Amazon blending brushes. These are really for makeup, but I love them for ink blending, and I will leave those linked down below as well. So once that was finished, you can see that my ink did not move at all as I blended over it. You can even ink blend over this with sponge daubers, really lay it on heavy. That laser printing isn't going anywhere as long as you use the right setting as you print. That means that you need to change the paper type when you print. If you're using a heavyweight cardstock, make sure you set it for that. If you're using a lighter weight like vellum or something and you're printing on that, make sure you use the right setting for that in your printer because it's going to give out the right amount of heat to set the toner. So if you're having trouble with your toner moving around on your paper or flaking off on your paper when you print, you don't have your settings right. You need to go in and change those. So to finish this card, I'm going to first apply that background panel onto an A2 top folding card base. And then I have my panel with my nest that has the mat, and I'm going to pop that up right over the top of the hole that I cut it out from with some dimensional adhesive, and that finishes off the card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is going to do it for me today. As always, there's going to be a lot of information down in the description box, so check that out. Thanks for watching and happy crafting.